Part 2. Contentment is the foundation to a fulfilling life. It brings with it good relationships, job satisfaction, parenting skills for those of us who are parents, and the wisdom and common sense it takes to move through life in a graceful manner. Without contentment, life can seem like a battleground where we are too busy struggling with problems to enjoy life's beauty. Consumed by concerns, hoping that someday things will be better, we postpone satisfaction while life slips away. With a happy feeling, we can enjoy life fully, right now. Obviously, your problems are very real and significant, but once you learn how to be contented, problems won't stop you from enjoying your life. A contented feeling brings with it childlike enjoyment, a lighthearted way of being in the world that opens a channel of appreciation for simple things, to feel grateful for the magnificent gift of life itself. This new understanding can be applied to all of life's challenges. You'll learn no sophisticated techniques or coping mechanisms to deal with each specific problem. You will just learn to live in a more contented state of mind, a state of love. The beautiful part of this knowledge, once you understand healthy psychological functioning, is that this knowledge lasts. It's not that you'll never again lose hold of the feeling of love. You will. But when you do, you'll understand how you got off course and know exactly how to point yourself back in a better direction. The key to happiness is your mind. Your mind essentially serves you in two ways. It is a storage vault for information and past experience, and it's also a transmitter for wisdom and common sense. This storage vault or computer, part of your brain, is used to analyze, compare, relate facts, and make computations. The value of this component is clear. Without it, we couldn't survive. The other part of the brain, the transmitter that we have access to, is the part that deals with the matters of the heart, where computer information is insufficient. It is our transmitter mind, not our computer mind, that is the source of our contentment, joy, and wisdom. Part of the process of obtaining access to this other part of ourselves is to recognize how necessary and practical it is, how inappropriate it would be to use a computer to solve a marriage or career problem, or to decide how to talk to your teenager about drugs, or to your toddler about discipline. Most people wouldn't use a computer for these personal, heartfelt problems. They require softness and wisdom. Unless we understand and value the transmitter part of ourselves, healthy psychological functioning, we have no alternative but to call on the computer to deal with our personal issues. New answers don't come from what you already know in the computer part of your brain. They come from a change of heart, from seeing life differently, from the unknown, quieter part of yourself. Let's illustrate the point with the familiar story of someone who has just lost his keys. He thinks, and his computer is thinking, about where they could be, but to no avail. He simply can't remember. Then, just when he has given up, thinking to gaze out the window instead, the answer suddenly popped into his head, and he remembers exactly where he left them. The answer came when he cleared his head, and not from the excessive thinking, which would not allow the answer to surface. All of us have had similar experiences, but few have learned the valuable lesson of not knowing in order to know. Instead, we continue to think that the answer comes from racking our brains, from using our computer. You can learn to access and trust this healthy psychological functioning, the quiet part of your mind, that is the source of inherent positive feelings, the wise part of you that knows the answers. And when it does know, it knows that it doesn't. You can learn the difference between computer thinking and creative thinking, when to trust your computer and when it's appropriate to back off and quiet down. The goal of this book is to help you experience the nicer state of mind, contentment, more often in your life. When people learn to live in this peaceful state of mind, they discover that happiness and contentment are, in fact, independent from their circumstances. It's not that things shouldn't go right. Of course, that's best. But things don't always have to go right before we can be happy. We don't always have power over other people and or events, but we do have a tremendous power to feel happy and contented with our life. One nice byproduct of feeling happy for no reason is that troubling detail begin to work themselves out. We actually think better, more clearly, and intelligently when our minds are not full of boggling concerns. Our minds can work for us or against us at any given moment. We can learn to accept and live with the natural psychological laws that govern us, understanding how to flow with life rather than to struggle against it. We can return to our natural state of contentment. The five principles will teach you to live in a positive feeling state more of the time. Use them as a navigational tool to guide you through life and point you toward happiness.